Welcome to Our Road to Success, the podcast where we chronicle our journey through this mad roadmap to the American dream. My name is Iggy Kidd. I'm a professional freelance voiceover actor, musician, and writer, coming to you with my co-host,
Christian Hansen. I am an artist and general madman trying to get a YouTube animation channel going. Let's get this show started.
Yeah, and this time we actually have show notes on both ends, so we can do it proper.
We do, and we have a somewhat better microphone on my end.
Yeah, it's sounding good. We also figured out a better way to record, so everything is coming up Millhouse.
Abso-freaking-lutely. If only our weeks went better.
Yeah, mine has been better than they have been historically, but it could always be better. So, speaking of,
our show is always...
How was your week, Christian?
Lots and lots of really weird freakouts.
That's always good.
Like, I'd get super stressed out in the middle of the night, and I'd just, like, freak out. But then in the morning, I'd always be good. I've always, I've been doing a good schedule of getting up at a decent hour and just exercise. Like, I exercise for like 4 hours a day, which is really, busting my ass in shape and stuff. I'm tired as fuck right now. I can't even fucking, I can like barely walk right now today. So this weekend is like hardcore, just rest.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as work and stuff goes, said I was going to be in Chicago this weekend. That did not happen. I mentioned that, I had yet to even play that game.
Right.
That I wanted to go compete in. And then I was saying to myself, like, okay, if we win this thing, I'd have to spend like the entire week just like practicing. And I was like, okay, I don't even have a computer yet. I don't even have a computer that can run the game yet. I don't think it's worthwhile to jump into this. But so then I was like, all right, well, you know what? Let's boot up the old Pokemon thing and let's go see if there's a tournament I can go to. And yes, there was. There was one tomorrow in New York I could have gone to. And then Nintendo banned my 3DS.
Oh, why?
The big thing last week, there's an untold story to what happened last week. So the big reason why I actually kind of quit before I got a charger last week, to format my 3DS because it was hacked.
Oh.
And I had to beat the entire game, and if I didn't have like a proper charger, like at least 4 hours before the tournament, I just was not going to be ready, period.
Right.
So I thought I had everything, like every hack removed, whatever. Because they had a huge ban wave that affected, like, I think, like 3 million consoles on Thursday. But mine was one of the ones that got caught. So I have to buy a new 3DS in order for me to do more of this tournament nonsense.
Awesome. Can you do the 2DS? They have that new clamshell style 2DS coming out that looks decent.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna just get one of those things because it's cheap and like I really don't care.
It's
like,
way cheaper, and it's like it'll play it. I'm hoping
play it, and
hopefully it has the processors. Because the thing I noticed playing Pokemon Sun and Moon on my original 3DS is if you're in a battle that's more than one trainer on another, like the 1-on-1-on-1-on-1 or like or the 2-on-2, it has major slowdown because the processor it was designed for the processor in the new 3DS. So that's a concern you'd want to have during a tournament, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, it is something that you would, if this stuff was being properly streamed, would be a big concern. 9 times out of 10, these things like are barely streamed properly. So, but that's actually the reason why they disabled 3D. Just because like the old 3DS processors just could not handle the graphics load and stuff from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, going on. I'm probably going to get 2DS because I really just don't care. I mean, I love 3D. I love the original 3DS, but for this, I don't care. Like,
honestly, I never used the 3D. Like, I originally had the Ocarina of Time remake on there, and it's like, cool, looks great. Watch like the cutscenes in 3D, and then honestly, I haven't used the 3D in the last like 4 years of using it. Like, it's basically like not even there as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, like, I love 3D just because like I'm a huge like depth that comes with it, but like it doesn't add much of like really anything else to it.
Yeah, no. It's cool as a gimmick, and like it is a really really neat like 3D effect the way they do it without glasses. But it's like if you're playing a game, it kind of is just like
Yeah,
the thing is
it's
good 3D. If it's really good, you forget it's even there after 5 minutes, and that's kind of the problem.
yeah, definitely freaking. You know what's so sad to me? One of the reasons why Nintendo lost a lot of money early on with 3DS isn't because they weren't selling 3DSs
Mm-hmm.
because of that, and the reason why they're losing so much money is because they spent so much research and development in this glasses-free 3D technology. Ooh, it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and they never really stopped to ask themselves like to the experience.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's cool, but it's just a gimmick. And like the
Pretty
actual
much, and
it's no really in the end, it's just like most people just treat it as a stronger DS, which it is. And that's all it needs to be because the DS is still and I think always will be probably the best handheld console. The Switch pretty good, but so far it's not quite measuring up.
yeah, I don't. I've yet to get myself a Switch because those things are.
I got one launch midnight release at Walmart, and I was lucky. I was like one of the last people to get it because they only had like 20 of them. But yeah, it's an awesome console. Like just the fact that you can move from portable to TV and it's just as strong in both situations. It's I believe 900p when you're connected to the TV, 720p when you're in portable mode. But like yeah, being able to play something like Breath of the Wild just as like anywhere is insane. Like it's just a
It's so.
it's a home console in your hands. There are problems with it, like, I mean, it's the open face thing, so, I mean, I haven't actually taken it out of the house more than once so far, because I don't have a case for it yet, and I don't really leave the house very much since I work from home, but it's, yeah, that's kind of a problem, but, I mean, all the games coming out for it, I'm super excited. They've got I'm probably gonna miss it for the show here, they've got the ARMS Global Test Punch for their new fighting game ARMS. I played it last night. They have like these 1 hour windows going through this weekend and next weekend. It's so fun. I've never liked fighting games, but ARMS is so much fun, and I was
God,
actually able to get into a groove where I was just kicking everybody's ass on the server.
I'm over here thinking to myself, you lucky bastard. I want one of those things so badly, but I don't.
I know. I used my
have
tax
one. It
refund.
sucks.
I used my tax refund and my birthday money because it was released on my birthday.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's definitely
since we're on the
worth
subject
it.
of
Once you get a
Pokemon,
chance,
I'm gonna have to
get
myself
that and Zelda Breath of the Wild for sure. Like those two together are well away worth all of the money that you'd put into it.
from everything I've seen, yeah, absolutely. But
Breath of the Wild
I
is
guess
the
to go
first
on with my week.
Breath of the Wild is the first good open world game I've ever played. I've always never been that big on them, but that one great. But that's all I'll say. Yeah, we're kind of going on a tangent. So, continuing with the week.
About video games. It's fine because video games are, I guess, part of my week. But
yeah,
I guess outside of the whole tournament failure and drama, I didn't finish the books that I said I was gonna write. I actually got really close to finishing a couple of them,
mm-hmm.
and then I was like, "Suck."
Yeah.
So I just wrapped them again, and I was like, "All right, well, let's write them again." And I've been doing that, and they're coming out fine so far. I just have yet to finish them. I haven't made much money at all this week. I've made only around dollars, and it's like way, way, way below. I should be making like at least 10 times that weekly.
Probably, yeah.
So the big thing this week has been like I mentioned I've been having like all these like weird depressed freakouts and stuff like that. It's because like I'm just it's kind of like I've gotten into the habit of like doing absolutely nothing with my life, as weird as that sounds.
Oh, I feel it.
And
like if I'm not doing work, it's pretty much all just being lazy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like as much as I want change and like require change to happen, it's like part of me is like, I can't do it.
So,
God, it sucks.
yeah. No,
So anyway,
I feel
your
it.
turn.
Yes. So, starting off with my weekly goals, I was talking about the EP. I wanted to get all the pre-mixing stuff done on that. Did not get any of the recording done. I did some of the writing that's still needed, so I've got the lyrics, all but one of the songs fully written out. I have all but one of the beats fully finished, but I didn't get any recording done, so I'm still pretty far behind on that. I'm gonna release in June. It's still definitely gonna release by the end of June, but right now it's probably looking mid-June, which is much later than I wanted, since I wanted to release it at the beginning of this month, but it'll be there. The next one, when I wrote the show notes last night, I was not quite up at the 25 Fiverr orders goal that I had put for myself. I was at 21 orders, but today I woke up to 8 new orders, so that brings me up to 29, 4 more than I wanted. So I'm definitely on par with that, thankfully.
Yes, and his Fiverr rank has finally increased.
Yes, I'll get into that later because it's kind of a weird system, but I am at level 2 now, which is a whole other thing, and it makes gives me a lot more visibility in the searches and stuff, which is probably why I'm getting so many offers, including
so many people being like, "Read my stuff, Wiz."
Oh wow. But as I'm talking, I'm also managing my Fiverr. Somebody just gave me an order that would have been, at best, probably cost them $40, and they're saying that their budget was $10. So yeah, that they can go along their way. Like, I get that people are cheap, but it's like, yeah, the kind of work, like, at a certain, I still need to be able to make at least minimum wage off of this. So there's a certain point where I'm not going to go any lower. And $10 for what would probably be like 4 hours of work, I'm not going to do that.
No, I'm with you. When I first, so I actually did Fiverr. I did it not really knowing the whole thing behind it. All I knew is I saw this one guy making like really bad Go Animate videos on there. And I got pissed off because I was like, Go Animate sucks.
Oh, absolutely.
I could do better. And I would pretty much sit there an entire day working on like animation done by hand, mind you, for like $5. And let's see here, 24 divided by 5. That is. Let me do the math here. Let's see here. So if I work a whole day on like a $5 animation, 5 divided by 24, that's like 20 cents an hour. Oh my god.
That's like below sweatshop level wages.
It's like, I would be making more in like a Chinese sweatshop.
Exactly.
But anyway, let's go to the next subject here.
Yes. So, in terms of money made from projects, we're going with since the beta, since we didn't get to say last week because Christian didn't have his show notes. But since the beta, and really since I started on Fiverr and Voice Bunny, since about the beginning of mid-April, I think somewhere around the 18th, 19th, I have made $387.41, and I currently have $144 in active orders. So once I complete those will be added to it for, what is it, a little over 500, which is good because my current goal is I want to be able to make $1,500. If I can make $1,500 a month on Fiverr, then I will be making more than I did in my last job working security. So that's my goal currently.
All right, that's a pretty good goal. So I've only made around like $100 last week, which
better than nothing.
It's more than nothing, but like a lot of that's going to be going to like paying bills and stuff. Next week, since it's the end of the month, that's when I usually pay like a lot of bills and stuff.
Right.
So, not terribly proud of myself, but you know what? This week is actually technically next week, since it's Saturday right now. Next week is going to be much, much better.
Yes, I believe it. You got this.
Yes, I do got this. So let's go to the next subject in our show, which is the project updates here.
Yes. Yep. You already kind of went into yours with all the...
I kind of touched base on this. I guess maybe let's delve into like the novel part again.
Yeah, totally.
So my goal actually have at least 2 finished this week, which sounds crazy and sounds like, oh my god, how the fuck can you write something this like like if you just sit down about and just like write, easily complete like a novel in just like a couple days. So my goal for this week, and that's just going to be kind of like where I'm going to be heading with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
On about my project updates, though, in the previous section by accident. Let's just go on to Iggy here.
Yeah, so, as I said, I just became Fiverr level 2 this last week, which basically with Fiverr, there's these 3 tiers, which is, or well, I guess technically 4 tiers, where you start out and you get all of the basic stuff. Then you go to level 1, and then you can do a lot more, and you're going to be bumped up in the search rankings, like with the different extras that you can have on your order, how many orders you can have with one person at one time. Level 2, so let's see, level 1, to get there, you have to have, 10 orders completed and above a 4.5 rating, which I have no problem with. I've only gotten one less than 5-star rating this entire time, and that was a whole kerfuffle, so I don't blame them for that. It was a mess of a project. On pretty much both ends. And then, yeah, to become level 2, you have to do 50 full orders, which I finally did, and I'm closer to 70 now. But 50 full orders, and you have to stay above the 4.5 rating and stay at a low cancellation rate. The last tier is a lot more nuanced. It's Fiverr's Best, I believe it's called, and that's basically means you're featured. So you go at the top of all of the rankings, all of the searches. You're going to be number 1 in that. And to get there, it's like you have to like be a part of the forums and like a part of the community. It says specifically community leader. And what it says is more or less like Fiverr staff is just going to be keeping an eye on your stuff, and they'll more or less just decide. So it's a lot more nebulous, and I don't even know if I'm going to do it because I really don't feel like putting in the time to deal with the forums.
Sounds like just make them like you, and then they will give you the 3-star rating.
Yeah, I feel like once I get over a certain earning amount, because the thing with Fiverr is basically every order you do, for every $5 you earn, they take $1. So 20% of all of your earnings. So more or less, the more you're making for them, the more they're going to like you, because the more orders you're getting, the more money they're getting. So if I get up to the point where I'm making like $1,500 a month or more, I'm pretty sure they'll bump me up, at least somewhere in that area. But it's hard to say, honestly. It's not a concrete like number I have to get to on that one. So as long as I stay in good graces and don't drop my rating suddenly or like get a billion cancellations, it should be fine. Voice Bunny has been moving along. I'm having the same problems I had with them before, which is they just send me auditions like at the most random times, like 5 in the morning, 8 in the morning when I'm like sleeping, and they're gone by the time I wake up. So I'll get like 7 auditions, but they're all gone by the time I actually get a chance to record them. And that's kind of always been my problem with Voice Bunny, is it's just way too difficult to keep up with. Even me, who this is 100% what I do full time, 7 days a week, 24/7, I still can't keep up with it. So I don't know. Maybe it'll work for other people, but for me, so far, it's definitely very secondary.
Have you ever heard of Voices 123?
Yes, I have, and I actually do plan. See, the thing is, I definitely plan to be a part of them, because when you go with them, they actually give you proper scale rates. Like, you're getting paid like union scale. The thing is, it's $400 fee a year to sign up with them, so I have to save up.
Okay.
So I plan to definitely sign up with them eventually. I just gotta wait until I've saved up. My usual rule is I don't make a purchase that's more than $100 until I've saved up at least 3 times that. So until I have $1,200 in savings, I'm not gonna sign up with them quite yet.
I mean, like, I kind of looked at them when I was actually looking for voice actors for my own projects and stuff like that, and the talent pool on there is really good. It's not like Fiverr where you have like a bunch of nobodies with like crappy microphones that.
Oh yeah, they actually quality control their stuff.
Dragon Ball Z impressions.
Yeah, that's all over the place on Casting Call Club. Like, everybody there, you can tell they're like,
123 was the guy who did I think it was Nico Bellic in Grand Theft Auto
Oh,
4.
okay.
He was the first one who popped up, and I was like, ooh,
Nice. See, yeah,
there's
that's
actual people in here.
yeah, that's the thing is like those sites they're called pay to play. So like Voices 123 and just voices.com are the main ones, but there are other ones out there, but it's like yeah, those ones they definitely seem very tempting and I'd love to get a part of them. But it's also I have to be able to pay the fee and it's also I want to make sure that I have the audio quality for it because right now my setup is very budget and while it sounds perfectly fine for Fiverr, there are like little things that I can tell like do need a better microphone before I can really like
Yeah,
measure up to people making that money. So I'm gonna save up for a new mic, CAD E100S. They're like $500 new. I might look for one used, but that's my next step.
something I never understood is like how expensive microphones can get.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's very delicate
The
stuff, and to
technology is delicate, but like it's just so surprising because they're like so insanely commonplace that you would expect them to be.
that's the thing is over in the $200 and up range. I'll be honest, I can't hear the difference. Like I've listened to videos where they're like, I'm comparing this $200 microphone to this $3,000 microphone, the Neumann U87. It's like I don't hear a difference. Like once you get to 200, it's like that just sounds professional. That sounds like a broadcast microphone to me. So the Caddy 100S is supposed to be a good mid-range microphone, so I'm gonna go with that for a condenser. And a lot of people swear by shotgun microphones, like you'd use on a movie set. They're supposed to be really good for voiceover, so I'm looking into that too. So I don't know. I don't understand the high pricing, but I'm sure it's a lot of delicate work.
Cheap. From my understanding, it's like it's kind of the cameras where it's like there's a point where like the quality has like a just, but then eventually like you pay just enough in like quality, but of like quality is like a sometimes like $16,000 investment, which is
Yeah, that's
worth
the
the
thing
money.
with microphones. The top of the line is the Neumann U87. Most professional recording studios, if you go to them, will have either that or like a Neumann T81, I think they're called. But Neumann is usually the brand they'll go with, and then yeah, those are in the $3,000 a piece range, and they're like tube microphones, so they've got like all sorts of mechanics in there that need replacing and stuff, and yeah, I think I'm gonna be good for quite a while if I get just the one $500 microphone. Honestly, I was probably would have been good with my original mic, which was like I think $80 when I bought it. The XML 880, I think it was, or no, XML. That's the MX. I don't remember. But it was a really good microphone, but I happened to drop it on concrete within 10 seconds of taking it out of the packaging, so it was always broken since I got it, and I ended up selling it.
Reminds me of when I got like a $2,000 laptop that I stepped on the first day I got it.
Wow. You did it.
That was the last laptop I ever owned too. I'm an idiot. So
Fun times. Yeah, I need
I
to
didn't have
get...
warranty either.
Oh, good. The one time you would have wanted it.
Exactly.
So, last point I have on my project updates is I was approved for the TrotCon set and the panels that I talked about last week. So, yeah, I'll be playing a music set at TrotCon coming up in July, mid-July, I think 14th through the 16th. And I'll be doing 2 panels that I'll be running. Dramatic Reading Starring You, which is going to be about voiceover, and we'll do like this whole goofy reading of a script, which is always fun. People love that. The Words We Sing, where we're going to be just sort of analyzing different lyrics from different songs and kind of pointing out aspects of lyricism that aren't always apparent. And then, because I'm performing as a musician, I'm going to be on the 2-hour musicians panel on Sunday, which is just probably going to be like a Q&A panel. So I'll be on it. It's 2 hours, and with the way TrotCon's set up, if you do at least 3 hours of panels, you get in free the next year. So I'm gonna be up for that. But if I can play music again next year, then it wouldn't matter because I'm getting
free ticket next. So
yes, it's very, very good. And The thing I want to point out is they are a billion times more attentive and communicative than any other con I've performed at. Like, I've done panels at other pony cons, and they're always, at least the ones I've talked to, are garbage with their communication. They take forever to get back to you. They're really unclear. They don't help most of the times. They don't talk to you until it's like almost like the exact deadline. Like, they wait till the last second, and sometimes even past that until it's like way too late. They'll do things without even, like, it's absurd how amateur these things are.
I should describe the story I had doing a promotional video for a con.
Oh, which con was that?
Even the name just makes me. Ugh.
Wait, which one was it you cut out there?
San Francisco.
Which one?
BabsCon.
BabsCon. Okay. Yeah, BabsCon is, from what I hear, one of the better ones, but honestly, that's from people who attend, and people who attend have no idea how badly run cons are. Like, you see it in their staff more than anything.
Yeah, so, like, this was a few years back. I'm pretty sure they're much better now, and they did eventually, like, apologize to me and, like, this whole thing, but pretty much what happened is, honestly, I should have just quit. I didn't, because I thought the idea that they were doing for, like, this video was kind of cute. But so, like, 2 weeks before the con was supposed to start, when you do animation, you're supposed to get voice acting done. Oftentimes, like, one of the first things you do is because, lip sync takes a shit ton of time. It takes an extremely massive amount of time. And 2 weeks in, that they were going to do this, one of them just refuses to do it.
Oh, good.
Like, just absolutely refuses to do it. And they refuse to do it because, they're going to have me saying these mean things or whatever. And
oh, yeah, I remember that.
At the time, like,
I remember that. That was stupid. That was such a stupid reason. I get it. There is a point where, like, you can be like, okay, I don't agree with this personally. Like, if it's super, like, sexual or violent, or it uses a lot of swearing, okay. But if it's just like, this character is being mean to the other character and I just can't bring myself to do it, it's like, you're an actor. Act.
Script like 3 months ago and it was given to you.
Yeah, at least if you have a problem with it, say it early on so it can be, say early on once you get the script. Look at the script. If you have a problem with it, tell the person who wrote the script so they can revise it if you have a problem, or they can at least discuss with you a better way to fix it. Don't wait until the last minute and then be like, I'm not doing it. That's the most unprofessional thing you could ever do.
It's so dumb. And, to be honest with you, like, that whole project, I was thinking to myself, like, why am I doing this? Quit. Like, I don't care. I'm not getting much. I'm not even getting, like, recognition from this. Like, I didn't even want my name, like, associated with it, but I was kind of like, well, let's do it anyway.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
The, like, day before I signed up, so that probably, just to give you an idea of, like, how loony my mind was, but, like, project. And then the thing didn't go through, but for whatever reason, like, even though the director, the producer, no clue what was going on, they agreed to have it be, like, the opening ceremonies.
Oh, good.
I thought it was just going to be a little promotional video.
Oh, boy.
Made the opening ceremonies by, like, 3 days. But anyway, that whole project, there is, like, a huge myriad of things that went wrong with it, and I will have to spend, like, an hour describing it another day because it is some of the funniest shit ever. But
no, totally.
we'll do that another day.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to new projects. I'll just mine really quick because it's just a quick thing I can't really talk about too much. But currently I'm negotiating an audiobook deal, which would be a pretty big deal in respective, or what is it, relative of the other things I do. So don't know how much I can really say about it. I mean, it's not like there's any NDAs involved really with anything I've done, but out of professional respect, I try not to talk about it too much. But I might be talking about that next week, so we'll see where that pans out. So, Christian, what's a new project for you?
Well, so I wouldn't necessarily say new, but it is kind of new in the sense that I don't really do this. So one of the series that I want to do is about music and stuff like that. And I'm actually, like I've been telling myself I'm gonna like learn music theory and compose music and stuff like that for God months on end, and I never freaking did. But you know what? This week I'm going to review music theory. Like I already know I studied music theory like a little bit in college and stuff like that. I just have to pretty much just do a quick review and I'll be fine and actually start composing music. So that's new for me.
Hmm.
Fun.
Okay.
Very, very fun. So, anyway.
I mean, I love making music. I know that much.
Like I've always loved I've done like music on and off since like high school. Not as like serious, but it's kind of like as like a fun type thing. And I have a lot of fun, like not necessarily composing it, but more like yeah, actually composing it. Like I have a lot of fun just composing it and listening to it because there's like this there's almost like a feel to music that you don't really get from like a work of art or from like and not to say music's not art, but like a picture or a book or something like that. There's like an emotion that just comes from sound that you just can't really get via like imagery, and I love it. It's such a mess with and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, I gotta get that going, and
All right.
going to be using similar technology to Vocaloid and stuff like that.
Oh,
Since
okay.
that's going to be the theme of the series. So along with that, I also got to get also got to find an actor who's willing to record a lot of sounds and consonants and stuff like that, so I can get my own little singing robot going. But
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to our business focus, where we will usually sort of say something that we noticed this week about business and professionalism and how just a lesson, And
Right.
For me, it was valuing yourself / negotiating effectively, and I kind of touched on it earlier with the thing there where the project he wanted would have cost him $40, and he was saying he could only do 10. So, like, that was a great example of that, where honestly, he started out by saying that the last voice actor he had for it was not really up to the quality he wanted. Which, to that, I'd say the fact that you're paying a quarter of what you would for a good voice actor is probably the reason why. Like, you get what you pay
definitely.
for. Like, I don't know why people only treat that in terms of consumerism, but it applies everywhere. If you are paying someone money, whether it's they're your employee or there's someone you're contracting, you will get a quality equal to what you pay for. So if you want better quality, you're going to have to pay them more. Like, that's just simple logic. Like, I don't know why it's so confusing to people. So, but honestly, I feel that a lot on Fiverr, where it's like people want a lot more for a lot less. And it's like, if you want something really high quality, you should go to like a pay-to-play site, and it's going to cost you a lot more. But if you want something of a Fiverr quality, like, you're going to get a Fiverr quality. Like, you're going to get $5 worth of voiceover, and that's more bulk than it is like quality, if you know what I mean. Like, you're getting an amount. You're not necessarily getting an expertise.
Kind of reminds me of the people who review like really shitty airlines, expecting them to be like 5-star, first class, amazing flights.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, same thing with hotels and like crappy ass like motels and like nowhere towns either. It's like everyone goes in there expecting like a top of the line experience, and it's the same thing with idiots who go to Walmart. Like,
it's people who go to like
Walmart is like ghetto redneck wonderland.
Yeah, or people who go to like a restaurant and then they'll leave an angry review on Yelp because they ordered the shittiest thing. And it's just like, guys, if you order the frozen ass chicken fingers at a Vietnamese restaurant, you're just getting deep fried chicken fingers. They're not going to be fucking gourmet. Get something that's actually Vietnamese food if you want it.
It costs 25 cents. Did you expect gourmet from that?
Yeah, I don't know how this disconnect works in
Like,
people's minds.
it's because they just want to bitch. So they go on Yelp and complain that their lives aren't this like, they're not like living in Trump Tower or something like that, because that makes them feel better about themselves.
Yeah,
So,
I don't get it. But let's move on. What's your business focus, Christian?
well, mine's actually, like I could ramble on about a lot, but the big one that I want to actually focus on is mm, I'm not sure how to start it off, but I was inspired by a wonderful quote from Benjamin Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligent man, you should definitely read into him. But the
Absolutely.
quote goes, "Write something worth reading, writing."
Yeah.
Which is a pretty powerful quote, but when it comes to people and artists and just like matter, um, like it's so common for me. People who say, I want to be an artist, I want to be a musician, I want to do this, this, or that, but then they just sit on their ass and don't do shit. Or like, the people who are all like, I want to run a marathon, I want to get fit, and then they just don't do anything. They go to like, Taco Bell and
Yeah, it's just pure inertia.
that.
Like that's the
Yeah,
I can honestly relate to it because like most of the last year, it's like I was working my job and stuff, so I wasn't the most lazy. But it's like I kept talking about projects I want to do, but I just wouldn't do them because it was just like an inertia of like if you're not moving already, it's so difficult to get yourself into motion from that resting state. And it's
yeah,
like
and
now that I've gotten started with freelancing and stuff, like it's all snowballing and I'm getting more and more momentum the longer I go. So it's like just get yourself started is really the main thing. Just once you get started, you will keep moving and just
definitely,
let it
definitely,
work.
and it reminds me of It doesn't remind me, but that's great you said that, because that's going to lead into the second thing I have written down here, which is probably describing one of my biggest, fails in terms of business or sales in general. But you mentioned inertia and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Voice crack when I said inertia. Woo! But biggest issue is I had, beginning of 2016, I just recovered from a pretty serious, like, just suicide attempt. I could only think of like just killing myself. Like, I was really like the only thing stopping myself from just outright ending my life was just how down, like I couldn't even get myself out of bed level. Just
Mm-hmm.
bullshit. And the second I'm on like antidepressants and stuff like that, I could kind of sort of get myself out of bed, but I was just so like hopeless, and like I was already in the habit of like not doing anything, where like nothing happened. Like, there's that inertia of like, nothing's happening. And I kind of sort of realized this, but I was kind of sort of scared to acknowledge that you have to start from somewhere. So I made my goals insanely big, right? Like,
Right?
you can actually find this post somewhere online, but I think it was June or July of last year. God, I went on this stupid ass like business forum or something. I can't remember what the fuck it is, but and I made this post saying like, by the end of the year, I'm gonna have a Lamborghini and I'm gonna be a millionaire producer. And being the idiot I was, I kind of expected them to be all like, "Yeah, you do it, bro." But rightfully fucking so. I mean, when you have an idiot who, admits he doesn't have shit and he just gets on a forum and starts rambling about like how much he's gonna make, yeah, you laugh at him. And it's not to say that it's impossible for people to go from rags to riches. I mean, that happens. That happens frequently.
Yeah,
But
but
the
the
thing
thing
is
is,
if you are sitting on your ass and you're telling people that you're going to do this, like that right there should be a red flag, because if you really want it to happen, you're not going to be telling people about it. You're going to be fucking doing it.
yeah, the people who do that
Which I
shit,
fucking
Steve
wasn't.
Jobs, fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, as we've talked before, it's like they don't spend time bragging about what they're gonna do. They're too busy doing it.
Yes, and that is, that's one of the kind of strange things about this podcast that I'm kind of hoping I'm avoiding so far. Is like I don't want this podcast to be about like me, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Like I kind of want from here on out it to be about like whether or not I actually did something or not, and like what terrible, horrible stories do I have of me not doing things
Right.
that I did not describe in my like late night freakouts this week, because some of them are pretty nuts. But next week I will definitely make a note of that. But yes, so inertia and stuff like that is a big issue, and just actually doing something more than just sitting there.
Yeah, which I mean,
That
we've gone over
is
that.
another huge thing.
Yeah, we've gone over that over and over again. That's honestly the main lesson of this entire show is just do stuff. Get started, get going.
Quote the meme man, just do it.
Correct. So let's move on to future projects. I'll go through mine here. Pretty much going to be working on the TrotCon panels and set because I got about a little over a month and a half to do that, which is more than enough time for that. Like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of rehearsal. And for the panels, honestly, I have so much material from old panels that I'll probably just kind of cobble them all together into a new thing and just kind of adjust it to fit the theme a little more. And then the other thing is this, I don't know when I'm going to do it because I don't know when I'm going to find time, honestly, but point and click game. I don't know. I just always loved the old point and click like Sierra games and stuff. And I want to make like a Flash game or something that's just like a point and click, like an app. It would work really well as an app, in fact. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I should send you a really good Unity toolkit that me and a friend found when we were looking for, like, we actually bring this up all the time. We never do it. A friend of mine, we wanted to do just a point and click adventure game about us, as stupid as that sounds. And we wanted it to be a theoretical sequel to Day of the Tentacle, but have it be like just the worst possible point and click adventure game ever.
Yeah.
And we looked into like Unity and stuff like that, and there's a really good Unity toolkit I will definitely have to send you. I actually think it's free too, which is even better.
Okay.
It's you to, whether you want to like create like the old school LucasArts looks or just have something more like actually modern with like 3D and stuff, allows you to really easily do it. I mean, like it's like a toolkit there, it has like actual user interface stuff to it, unlike a lot of Unity stuff I've seen. So
okay,
good.
Yeah,
pretty freaking cool.
I'll definitely check it out. So, what are your future projects on the docket?
Well, outside of the whole YouTube nonsense that I've talked about, I actually do want to make a lot of some apps and stuff like that. That I guess to start off, as crazy as it sounds, because I do want to focus on games myself. I actually keep saying that I'm going to make a pinball app.
Pinball app.
Yeah, a pinball app, just because, like, it would be a fun little practice thing, and I could put it on the App Store and just have like a stupid little, app just for the sake of, like getting practice and stuff in. And I've been saying I'm going to do this for months now.
Okay.
Why pinball? I just like pinball. I actually really don't like pinball that much, but I've been kind of obsessed with like playing pinball on my phone. And I was like, I could totally make one of these and just have it be of myself and be a total egotistical idiot and put it on the App Store anyway.
Yeah, honestly, when it comes to stuff like that, it's like people download it. Like everybody gets whatever app. It's not like people have that much
on the App Store.
Yeah, nobody's gonna have discretion.
Listeners, if you want to know something stupid, go on the App Store and search up like Elsa is pregnant.
Oh God, no. Don't do it.
You won't find actual. Do it. Fucking do it.
Oh God, Elsa's zombie baby, Elsa's dentist, Elsa's brain surgery. It's just like
Elsa's rectal thermometer.
It's just like the worst knockoff app versions of like, just like, it's just like basically Trauma Center if it was terrible in an app and they just made it Elsa from Frozen because she's popular.
But it's like, I think of it more like if Andy Warhol was like high as hell.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
iPhone.
That's like a literal deconstruction of something like. That's a literal pop culture deconstruction right there.
Good lord, that is. So anyway, and other things that I would like to do. I actually know a girl in Baltimore who runs like an art gallery type thing.
Okay.
And she actually messaged me not too long ago. She was like, "Hey, you're an artist. Rod, you still paint?" And I was like, "Yeah, I still do this. Here's some of my work I've done recently." And she's like, "Oh, we're looking for submissions for like an art gallery thing." And I was like,
Okay.
So I might have an art gallery coming up if depending on if this goes through or not, I will be sure to bring it up in the show notes. And I guess on the subject of writing and stuff like that and thing, just because I mentioned Benjamin Franklin earlier today, like that quote and stuff like that. I read a lot about like historical figures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, because it makes me sound like a fucking nerd, but I do all the time. And, I know a shit ton about the Wright brothers. And I was thinking to myself, like, I could do this. Like, I know so much about them. I could write something. So I might see about doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I'd read it. Shit, I love like history stuff, drunk history especially, but any history is good.
The best one.
Oh man, I love it. Let's see. So
we should do our own drunk history.
Oh, totally. Yeah, like we've talked about like doing that, but for like a show you like some show you liked as a kid, like here's Power Rangers Zeo Force. Blech. Like
here's the Wiggles while you're drunk.
Yeah, friggin' wow, this is what Wow Wow Wubsy was about, and just like animate it and stuff, but like animate it to what they're talking about. That would be hilarious.
God, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yes. Oh God, can you even explain that sober? Barely. All right, so let's go on to
barely. That's a brilliant idea. That should be my future goal right there.
Yeah,
doing one of those.
I'll help you out. Like if yeah. Let's talk about that later.
Freaking do it. Yeah.
So future plans for the show. Getting guests. I have somebody from another podcast I do that I might get a couple of them on here to sort of talk about how they work with freelancing. I got this on-camera actor guy who is slowly making his way through doing a lot of short films and stuff. So, we'll
Sounds
see.
Cool.
We'll see if we can get anybody in here. Christian has a better microphone this time, but you can always improve.
Wait, I need to get like an actual microphone, not this stupid headset that I have. And
oh yeah.
God, this headset sucks, and I actually have to put a blanket over myself to like have it sound anywhere decent. But like, I am sweating like a pig right now. Holy shit.
Oh, that's just recording in general. Like, I'm in a like airy open closet. It is sweltering in here, mainly because of my old crappy computer that's pumping out heat, and like all this insulation to keep the sound from bouncing around is just holding it all in. But yeah, just that's just a reality of recording for long periods, is you're gonna get hot.
Boy, I don't know how you guys do this.
It's a living.
So fucking unbearable. I can handle heat. Like I cannot. I feel like I'm in a sauna right now, being smothered by other men. This is bad.
All right, so let's go on to our quarterly goals. Mine are pretty much the same. I want to release that EP by the end of June, which is the end of the quarter, and I want to save up enough for a new desktop PC. I'm just gonna get Lenovo Idea Center. It's got like a terabyte internal hard drive and like 8 gigs of RAM, so it's better than my computer I have right now. Then it's like a little under $400. So that's I usually would build my own PC, but the one I want to make is like $1,500. So for now, before this one dies, I need to get something for like $400. So that's my goals by the end of June. So Christian, what do you got going on through the quarter?
Well, through the end of June, actually July 1st, I told myself that is when I'm going to have at least one episode of my animation nonsense online. It's going to be an absolutely insane, it's going to be an absolutely insane goal, and I think that right there is probably the biggest contrast between, I'm going to say like your goals versus my goals. Like your goals are like hard, but they're obtainable, whereas mine are like absolutely freaking insane and insanely stressful, and I'm probably not going to do them, but that's my goal. So we'll see if I succeed or not.
Well, we'll be keeping tabs on it as the show goes on. Let's go to our goals for the week. So once again, I'm going to try and get 25 orders on Fiverr. I just barely squeaked past that this week, but now that I'm level 2, it should be a little bit easier, and I might up that next week. I still want to get all the pre-mixing work done on the EP, which at this point mostly just means recording vocals, which On average, I can record about 3 songs a day, getting them pretty good. So out of the 10, it's probably going to take me like a week and a half maybe to get it all set to that and then start the mixing. I want to get at least one Everything in Moderation episode in production. That's the show I was talking about before, where it's going to be like sort of like political and social commentary.
And you just analyzing all the stupidity of our modern world.
Yeah, trying to do it as intelligently as possible. And I want to get...
It's better than The Amazing Atheist doing it, so...
Yeah, I used to watch him a lot, but at a certain point I was like, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't even live in the real world. You're just in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana, living in your mom's house. Like, you can say all this and, like, you're more intelligent than some people, but you didn't even graduate high school, dude. So just chill out. And then I want to get at least the outline and character bios of the comic collab I was talking about. Still pretty up in the air, not a lot of work done on it, but yeah, I want to have at least the outline, which is started, and the character bios of at least the main characters done by next week, which shouldn't be a problem. So what do you...
It shouldn't be too hard. So I guess for supplies that I need to get, I need to get a 3DS, I need to get a laptop, and I need to get a Microsoft Kinect.
Okay.
And people are probably hearing, like, Kinect, like, what the hell? Why do you need to Kinect? It's for motion capture, actually. Kinect,
okay.
Like, they're not really good for gaming capture and, like, a lot of engineering stuff. They're really wonderful devices. Which is a shame because, like, that means Microsoft's not going to, like, really produce them for those purposes because it was designed for the Xbox only. But, like, you know, if you can get a hold of one, you can hook it up to your computer and you can do a lot of really cool things with it. Okay. And for someone like me who's trying to do, like I mentioned before, that, you know, the things I've been doing are 3D, having something like that would really speed up the workflow, and it would be a thing to just have. I also want to get my passport renewed.
Okay.
So that's... And then I want at least 10 episodes of rough animatics of my things finished. Okay. And when I say rough animatics, that's a bit of a misnomer. So one of the things I'm doing before I even, like, is I'm making, like, a super, super, super rough animatic. And when I say that, I mean I'm taking clips of, like, pre-existing movies and TV shows, putting them together in, like, just a crazy way to get, like, a rough idea of, you know, like, how something's gonna look.
Okay.
On paper. And this is actually what Walt Disney did when he began working on Snow White. Like, he used a bunch of scrap film and, you know, movies and stuff he had lying around. They all kind of just spliced them together, and then they sat there and they literally watched their movie and they made sure it was good before they even, like, bothered writing the script or whatever. And I think that is really something I think a lot more content producers should do, because it is so hard to go back and, like, fix something when you already spent, like, you know, so much time and so much money on it, and then it's just coming out sucking.
Yeah.
Like, it's not because they don't care. Like, you know, have you ever watched a movie and it's just, like, the worst possible thing and you're screaming to yourself, like, how the hell did they not know this?
Oh, God. It Follows for me. I don't know why people love that movie so much. It's terrible.
It's like, you know, it's not that the director knew he was making a crappy movie. It's that he knew too late that he was making a crappy movie. It's because most of the time, like, a lot of filmmakers, and especially online, contributors just skip that crucial step of planning things out before they even get to planning.
Right.
And as a result, it's such a risky thing because, you know,
the worst movies...
10,
the worst movies are generally ones where it's either that it wasn't planned very well, they didn't have enough time to plan, or it just keeps getting shifted around to, like, a bunch of different, like, 4 or 5 people. So then the planning one person did is not going to translate to the planning this other guy's going to do. So all of that planning is basically wasted regardless, because there's not enough of a cohesion and communication between all of the creators to make it work.
Yeah, it's such a there was someone I met on the Frederator forums, this kid who was like, you know, I don't ever use animatics in my stuff. And I was thinking to myself, like, that's probably why your work sucks.
Yeah.
Thing of planning it and trying to make sure things work. I mean, I understand why people skip it, but it's something you shouldn't skip.
Yeah, no. Our Road to Success is a Just Fall production, created under a Creative Commons Attribution and Share-alike license. This means you can use any part of the show in any way you like, as long as you credit Iggy Kid, Christian Hansen, and Just Fall Productions, and make your product just as accessible. You can find Iggy Kid on Twitter @DapperJackery or on Fiverr at fiverr.com/IggyDkid. You can find Christian Hansen on Twitter @ChrisHansen1994 or on Instagram at instagram.com/ChristianHansen1994. Our Road to Success can be found on Twitter @OR2SPodcast, on Facebook at facebook.com/Our Road to Success Show, through email at ourroadtosuccessshow@gmail.com, or on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/OR2SPodcast. That's it for this week on Our Road to Success. Remember that everyone has their own road. We know you'll find yours. Happy trails!